G'day, I'm Mick Angelhere and welcome to Mick Angelhere's Island. Right now I'm in Dublin and we're going to have a bit of a walkabout in Dublin. So well, join with me as I just explore this great city. Very tall needle. The spire they call it. 1916 Easter Rising. When the Irish rebels started to rise up against the English, and this was in 1916 in the middle of a war against Germany, that England was fighting against Germany. So the English were not too impressed about the fact that the Irish decided to rebel in 1916. The English actually sent 16,000 troops. They even sent artillery, machine guns, and even gunboats up the Liffey. And so what happened was the British ended up shelling the town. They shelled the town with the gunboats, they shelled it with the artillery. 20,000. The Irish rebels were outnumbered 20 to 1 by the end of the rise, and 20 British troops for every one rebel. And the British literally leveled this area. St. Stephen's Green, Dublin. And there's the scene of some of the most fierce fighting during the Easter Rising, and you can still see the machine gun bullets on the stonework there from a Lewis machine gun that was set up around the buildings on the 3rd floor up there, where the British forces were firing on the Irish rebels, so to speak, the volunteers who were fighting for independence. Yes, St. Stephen's Green, a significant spot where a whole heap of Irish volunteers fought to keep this park out the hands of the British, because that's where the water supply was, and strategic supply route there, but they were outnumbered, outgunned, and yes, one of the locals having his breakfast. There he is, one of the locals. Looks like a young one too. Squirrels everywhere, cute little things. He's having his breakfast. Yes, the commander of the area here was Commandant Mallon, and for 5 days they held out against the British forces in this building here. The Royal College of Surgeons. Now we can walk across this road. The only thing we have to worry about is not getting run down by these trams or cyclists. But back then, the Irish volunteers, when they withdrew from the park to come run into this building, they had to run the gauntlet of machine gun fire and snipers. There was a machine gun placed on top of a building up there, which had a clear line of fire down this road. But they all made it into this building. As you can see, you can still see the impact marks. So for 5 days they held out, the Irish volunteers, in this building, but there was a bit of a shortage of food, and the English said, listen, you need to surrender. Most of the volunteers were against it, but Mallon convinced them that they needed to, because there was no hope for them. but so they surrendered 5 days later. Like I said, now you've got to worry about cyclists and the trams in this road. The Park Superintendents Lodge, and it was used by the volunteers as a strong point as well, but it became pretty dangerous after a while when the machine guns kept firing, the British firing the machine guns on there. So yeah, so they eventually had to withdraw. So it looks very peaceful and quaint now, but there was a scene of real fighting in 1916. The bandstand. This was the site of one of the field hospitals that the volunteers looked after their wounded. They took their wounded to this bandstand during the battle. So a number of female nurses were there tending to the wounded. They were later transferred over to that Park Superintendents Lodge when the fighting became a bit too intense, but then they had to move from there. So you got people walking about nice and easy on this morning. Beautiful flowers here. Wow. Quite a pleasant place to be on a morning. I'm now going to go look for a place to have breakfast. Most places do not open until 9 o'clock in Dublin. There are a couple of cafes that do open earlier, but majority of places in Dublin tend to open about 9 o'clock. So anyhow, but St. Stephen's Green, a site of the intense battle during the Easter Rising in 1916. It's all peaceful now, and hopefully it stays that way.